Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is StreetNazgul and I hope you guys are doing well, that you're having a beautiful day, and yeah, I hope you're having a blast. So today's video will be a little different. I have here my new 360 camera. It's a little bit old, but I wanted to review it and share the tips for you guys to edit the footage on this camera. Is it still worth it in 2024? Like every other camera, it has the good sides and the bad sides. When I bought this one, I bought it for only 155 bucks because I was on the budget. I didn't want to spend 500 plus bucks on a Insta360. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna find one like it's cheap and it does the job. So I found this one. There's a few things that I didn't know about. The first thing is here on the port of the battery. You open this up, you have a huge battery, and then on the battery, I don't know if you can see that, I don't know if it's focused, but you have two SD cards. This is a thing that I didn't know about this camera, but that's my fault because I didn't do my research. So you have two SD cards, one for the front camera. The front camera is the one that has this little screen here, and then you have one for the back camera. So combined, these two SD cards from the camera, it records 1 gigabyte per minute. Then comes not the so much fun part, because this Fusion, you cannot simply just take the files from your SD cards and import it right away to your editing software. This has to go through GoPro software. That was crazy. I didn't know about that. Again, my fault. But I will explain you because there's not a lot of information about this, and once you import the files to your computer, they always say, oh, mess around with the GoPro Fusion Studio software to export it. So if you want to edit the footage from this camera on Premiere Pro, you don't have to mess around with nothing. So I'm gonna jump to the computer and I will show you how it really works. And the simple way, a really simple way to make this footage looks great. My opinion, well, let's jump into the video. Jumping to our computer. The first thing I do is create a folder with the Fusion name, as you can see here. And this was from my last vlog. So you create the Fusion folder, you open the folder, and here, okay, don't worry about this, I will explain this in a bit. So here are the SD cards, the back and the front. I do two folders, I create two folders, front and back, and I import from the SD card, from the front camera and from the back camera. Now, it's important that you have all these files, these LRVs, and there's another one, THM. It's very important that you have all these kind of files, because if you just import these MP4 files, the Fusion software will not recognize, so you'll not be able to stitch the footage. So you go ahead and do that. Put all the files inside. And then you jump to the Fusion Studio. Once you're in your Fusion Studio software, this is what you're gonna do. Add media. And then on the desktop, it's where I have my folder. You don't have to select any file. This is the fun part. I didn't know about this. This is the fun part. So you just select the Fusion folder. It has the back and the front camera files inside, and you just click open. And as you can see, I recorded here 45 minutes, and even though you have a lot of files in the folders, it recognizes that I just made one recording. So it's just one video, right? So you let it stitch all the things here. You just wait for a little bit. So it might take a while if the file is a little longer, but it works. So now we have here the footage, and a lot of people say, hey, just, you know, adjust it to the center, do this, do that, pitch it, so you can have a nice angle. My honest opinion, don't do that. Never. If you are editing later in another software, don't do this. So we're gonna reset that, and you just leave it as it is, and leave it at 360. Always. Don't turn this into overcapture, because it's where you can mess around with angles and all that stuff. So I will just leave it at 360 and don't move anything from this, the yaw, the pitch, the roll. And then you click here on full stabilization and add to render queue. That's all you have to do. Import the footage, leave it as it is. Don't mess with anything and just add to render queue. So you do that, and then here you select editing, 5.2K and audio stereo. There's a lot of people that use the 360 audio, so you'll have like this cool effect going around. I don't use it, I just use stereo, so it matches everything that I'm doing with my video. And I create the render queue. So once you create the render queue, you go to these little 3 dots. If you want the highest quality possible, you select the Pro resolution, 422. This is scene form. The file will be a little bit smaller. And then you have the normal one, the H264. But this, once you select it, it will just export at 4K maximum. As you can see, if I click it, yeah, just 4K. So I always use the ProRes, 5K, stereo, and dewarp, I just leave it on. And you click render selected. Now this is the worst part of the process, because once you click render selected, the footage will start to stitch, right? And it will take ages to finish. So you will have this file, so I have here around 40 gigs of footage in these 2 folders, and once the footage is stitched, it comes here to 302 gigabytes. It's insane. So now that you are in your editing software, here's a thing that I didn't find anywhere about this camera. So you have here the footage. The first thing you want to do is go to sequence settings, and change the resolution. So let's put here 4K. And press OK. And now you have 4K. And then we're gonna use, on the effects here, you're gonna use the GoPro reframe. Put it onto your footage. And here's the thing, I didn't find anything about this on Premiere Pro. So here you have pan, right? So you go ahead, you move it, and it doesn't move. Everything that you want to do with your footage, it's, yeah, useless. And I was like, ah, man, what the hell is going on here? So what you gotta do is, here to the projection, source image, you change it to 4K. It's this one, UHD 4K. So you click it and you can see it changed. And now you can mess around with your footage. So you can pan, see, and you can tilt up and down. You can rotate the footage, and you can put some curve. So for example, if you want to do a tiny world effect on the motorcycle, what you do is put the motorcycle on the center of the screen and then tilt it like this, and then you just take the zoom off. And this will create a tiny world effect, or tiny planet, how you want to call it. And this is cool. So you have a lot of quality, as you can see, from this camera. And I mean, if you're on a budget, this is just perfect. Would I recommend the Fusion 360 in 2024? Yes, absolutely. If you're on a budget, this is the way to go. I think the camera brings everything that you need. I mean, you can see here that I don't have invisible stick, like you see it like in the Insta360. It doesn't have, I believe, doesn't have that kind of technology here inside. But I mean, I can get some amazing shots, and the stick doesn't really bother me, to be honest. So with the Fusion Studio, it gets kind of annoying because you have to wait a lot just to wait for the stitching file, for the rendering. If you record at about 40 minutes, you can wait all night. That's the worst part about the camera. But would I recommend this in 2024? Absolutely, this thing is amazing, has amazing quality, and if you have the space on your computer to render these kind of huge files, I will highly recommend. You can get these used ones or refurbished for quite a low price. The down parts are the two SD cards, stitching software, and huge files. That's basically it. It doesn't overheat. I didn't have a problem with heat or something like that. It just runs perfect, runs smooth, and definitely worth it. 100%. I'm really happy. So yeah, that was basically it, guys. I hope I helped you. If you guys need some more details into the Fusion, just let me know. So if you like the video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. You already know it. And I see you all around in the next video. Take care, y'all.